In Miami, blood was never the only thing that disappeared. Behind every shocking death on Dexter, there was a real story. Actors walking away, contracts breaking, dreams shifting. Some exits were planned, others painfully abrupt, and a few were more mysterious than any murder Dexter ever committed. Tonight, we open the morgue drawer of Dexter's history and uncover every major actor who left and the real reasons why. From Rita's tragic end to Dokes' explosive farewell, from Lagerda's fatal discovery to Deborah's final breath, this is more than a list of deaths. It's the anatomy of a show that devoured its own cast in pursuit of storytelling perfection. Because behind everybody on Dexter was a human being, making the hardest decision an actor can make, to let go. Chapter 1, The First to Fall, Sergeant James Dokes. The moment Dexter began, one man smelled the truth. Sergeant James Dokes, Miami Metro's pitbull. Sharp eyes, zero tolerance, and no time for Dex's weirdness. He wasn't fooled by the mask. Eric King brought him to life with raw intensity. He didn't play Dokes, he was Dokes. And that authenticity is exactly why fans were crushed when he blew up in a shack during season 2. Why did it happen? Not because of Eric King's performance, but because Dokes was too good at his job. Showrunner Clyde Phillips explained it years later, Dokes was the one man who could expose Dexter. If he lived, the show was over. It was narrative necessity. But to many fans, it felt like a betrayal. Even King himself admitted, "I would have loved another season." But Dokes was doomed from day one. Still, his impact never faded. 15 years later, "Surprise, Motherfucker" remains one of TV's most iconic lines.
Surprise, motherfucker.
You following me now?
You better have a hell of a reason for being here.
I'm looking for my sister.
In a cargo box?
And in a strange way, Dokes' death saved Dexter by keeping the secret alive. Chapter 2, Passion and Obsession, Lila West. Season 2 didn't only take away Dokes, it gave us Lila. Jaime Murray's character was the perfect chaos agent, erotic, unhinged, and dangerously magnetic. For a moment, she replaced Rita as Dexter's muse, a living metaphor for addiction. Her death in Paris felt abrupt, but behind the scenes it was deliberate. Writers feared her story would eclipse Dexter's if she stayed. Murray later said, "I would have loved to come back, but Lila burned too bright, and in Dexter's world, bright flames die fast." Fans loved to hate her, and her exit taught the show something crucial. The women around Dexter were never safe, not emotionally, not narratively. Chapter 3, The Light Dies, Julie Benz as Rita Bennett. Rita Bennett was peace in a show built on death. She symbolized the possibility that Dexter could be normal, a husband, a father, maybe even human. So when she died, everything changed. Season 4's finale still stands as one of TV's most shocking twists. Dexter kills Trinity, then finds Rita's body in the bathtub. Her blood mirrors the trauma of his own childhood. A perfect circle of pain. Julie Benz learned the truth just days before filming. She recalled, "I thought I'd done something wrong. They told me, no, it's not you. It's the story." The decision came from Clyde Phillips, who wanted to reset the series after 4 seasons. He called it a necessary tragedy. Benz later said leaving the show felt like grief. "I cried for a week." Rita was love and light, and that doesn't survive long in Dexter's darkness. Her departure sent shockwaves through the fandom. Even Michael C. Hall admitted in interviews that shooting the bathtub scene was emotionally brutal. Rita's death didn't just end a character, it ended Dexter's last chance at redemption. Chapter 4, The Mentor's Fall, Miguel Prado, Jimmy Smits. Season 3 gave Dexter something new, friendship. Miguel Prado, played by the brilliant Jimmy Smits, was the first person Dexter ever trusted with his secret. But friendship in Dexter is like blood. Once it's spilled, it never goes back. Smits joined the series fresh off The West Wing, and his casting brought prestige. Yet from the start, both actor and writers knew Prado was a one-season arc. Miguel was never meant to survive, Smits revealed. He was Dexter's mirror, the version of him that loses control. His final scene, strangled with his own tie, wasn't just poetic, it was symbolic. The mentor killed by the student, a warning that every connection Dexter makes will end in blood. Chapter 5, Love and Death, Revisited, Frank Lundy and Lila Echoes. Not every departure was a grand finale. Some exits were quiet, even cruel. Keith Carradine's Frank Lundy, the wise aging FBI agent, was a fan favorite. He represented calm reason, morality. And when he returned in season 4 to rekindle his romance with Deborah, fans felt hope. Then came the parking lot scene, 2 gunshots, Lundy down. Carradine later explained, "The show wanted to remind viewers that nobody's safe, not even the good ones." His death devastated Jennifer Carpenter, who said she cried off camera for hours after filming. It foreshadowed Deb's own tragic fate, that in Dexter, love only ever leads to loss. Chapter 6, The Game of Power, Maria Laguerta, Lauren Velez. By season 7, the balance of power had shifted. Dexter's lies were closing in, and Captain Laguerta was getting too close. Lauren Velez's portrayal of Laguerta evolved from background authority to one of the show's moral anchors. She wasn't perfect, ambitious, manipulative, but she wanted truth. When she confronted Dexter and Deb in that cold shipping container, we felt dread. 1 gunshot later, she was gone. Behind the scenes, Velez was heartbroken but proud. "It was shocking," she said, "but it was the right ending for her. Laguerta had to die for the truth to stay buried." The writers wanted to break Deb, and they did. That single moment, Deb killing her superior, marked the point of no return. Velez's exit also reflected Showtime's desire to shake up the final 2 seasons with irreversible choices. But to fans, Laguerta's death symbolized the corruption of Dexter's moral world. Every good cop dies, every truth gets silenced. Chapter 7, The Ghost Father, Harry Morgan, James Remar. Harry Morgan was never really alive, not after season 1, but his presence shaped everything. James Remar became the voice of Dexter's conscience, that calm spectral whisper guiding him through every kill. For 8 seasons, Remar stood in the shadows. But when Dexter New Blood arrived years later, he was nowhere to be found. Why? Because Deb had replaced him. The showrunners decided to make her the new voice in Dexter's head, representing guilt rather than guidance. Remar later said he was surprised, even hurt. Harry was part of Dexter's DNA. It felt strange to be erased. There was no feud, just a creative decision that reflected the series' evolution. Harry was order, Deb was chaos, and chaos had finally won. Chapter 8, The Final Cut, Deborah Morgan, Jennifer Carpenter. Deborah Morgan wasn't just another character. She was the emotional backbone of Dexter. Her arc, from foul-mouthed rookie to broken sister, was the heartbeat of the show. When she died in the series finale, fans were divided. Some called it poetic, others unforgivable. But Jennifer Carpenter wanted it that way. Deb had to die, she said. After everything, she couldn't live with who Dexter was. Carpenter had carried Deb for 8 exhausting years. She described filming the hospital scenes as a funeral for myself. Dexter pulling the plug wasn't just a plot twist, it was a metaphor. The moment he kills the last part of himself, that's human. Behind the scenes, the cast was emotional. Michael C. Hall reportedly left the set without speaking for hours after the finale. Clyde Phillips later admitted that Deb's death was necessary. To complete Dexter's arc, he loved her more than anyone. Losing her was the price of his life. Her exit closed a chapter in television history, one where a serial killer made us feel empathy, and Deborah was the reason why. Chapter 9, The Quiet Departures. Not every cast member left in blood and shock. Some simply faded away. C.S. Lee's Vince Masuka remained comic relief until the end, but his rotating assistants came and went without notice. A reminder of how isolated Dexter's world had become. Ryda's children, Aster and Cody, quietly disappeared after season 5. Their absence was never fully explained. In interviews, the writers admitted they didn't want to burden Dexter with domestic responsibility, a decision that many fans still criticize, because it erased one of the most human parts of his life. Even secondary characters like Quinn, Batista, and Matthews survived the bloodbath, barely. But each carried scars. Their reduced screen time reflected shifting budgets and focus, as Showtime prepared for the endgame. Chapter 10, Behind the Curtain, the production shifts. By the final seasons, Dexter was changing behind the scenes. Clyde Phillips, the original showrunner, left after season 4, the same year Rita died. Many fans believe the tone shift that followed was directly tied to that departure. New leadership brought new directions, and the writer's room became divided. over how far Dexter's morality should stretch. Jennifer Carpenter once said, "Every year felt like a new show. Crew turnover, budget adjustments, and rising network pressure all shaped who stayed and who left." Actors often found out about their characters' deaths, with little warning, a brutal part of serialized storytelling. Yet through it all, Dexter remained magnetic. Even those who left spoke of it as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Eric King called it the most intense set I've ever been on. Julie Benn said, "We all bled for that show, emotionally." Chapter 11. The Legacy of Loss. When you line up every cast departure, a pattern emerges. Each exit marks a piece of Dexter's soul peeling away. Dokes, suspicion. Rita, love. Lundy, trust. Miguel, friendship. Lagerta, justice. Harry, reason. Deb, humanity. By the end, nothing remained but instinct and regret. And maybe that's the real brilliance of Dexter, that its cast departures weren't random, but reflections of the story's decay. The show didn't just write out its characters, it used their exits to show us what Dexter was losing. Every death, every goodbye was another step toward emptiness. Off-screen, many of these actors went on to long, successful careers, but none of them escaped the shadow of Miami Metro. Even now, interviews return to those same questions. What was it like? Why did you leave? Would you ever come back? And almost all of them answer the same way. Dexter changed me. Because it wasn't just a show about killing. It was a show about the price of connection. About how everyone who got close to Dexter, on screen or off dash, eventually had to walk away. So, which departure hit you the hardest? Was it Rita's quiet scream, Deborah's final breath, or Dokes' explosive last words? Tell me in the comments dash. And if you want to know which Dexter actor almost didn't die, stay tuned for our next deep dive. Because in Miami, no secret stays buried forever. And in Dexter's world, no one, not even the actors, can escape the code.